Now, this is Taxis on the Predatory Lending Network. Out with the news that the unemployment report came out at 5% and underemployment was at 9.8%. What do you make of this?
Well, honestly, I don't know too much about it, but I do know a little. I had to study economics in high school, so I do know a little bit about the whole unemployment system and stuff like that. I think it's very interesting, to say the least. So, okay.
Make sure we fit, because the thing is just so huge. Okay. Now, construction jobs rose 37,000, but manufacturing fell 29,000. What do you make of that?
Well, I feel like there's always demand for construction. Definitely, I actually work in the manufacturing business. So I do know with construction there's always a demand for it. So I can see why that would be rising.
Like I'm talking to a giant shark. Come. Okay. Yeah, if you see, I don't know. Now, the labor force participation rate was at 63%, the highest in 2 years. And the labor force participation rate was at 63%, the highest point in 2 years. Now, with more people working, should the Fed raise interest rates?
I think it really depends. Like I said, I don't know too much generally on the subject, but I know that, sorry, that one? So, sorry.
Just for editing, it'll look better. Now, the labor force participation rate was at 63%, the highest point in 2 years. Now, with more people working, should the Fed raise interest rates?
Definitely. I feel like with jobs like that with labor, it's definitely something that everyone can do. So that's kind of like why there's usually a rise in it. Labor forces, it's something you don't necessarily always need training on. So.
Now, the average hourly wage is $25.43, pushing New York and California to pass a $15 minimum wage. Will this lead to job losses in those states?
I kind of agree. I know that when minimum wage goes up, a lot of people try to fight to get the original base pay raise higher. And I also know that with the minimum wage increase, prices tend to get higher at jobs. So we'll probably, I can see the unemployment rate fluctuating because of the minimum wage increase. So
in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
No, thank you so much for your time.
So in closing, this is Taxis saying, I'm taxing you. Okay, this is Taxis from the Predatory Lending Network. Out with the news that the unemployment report is out, and unemployment is at 5% and underemployment is at 9.1%. What do you make of it?
Well, I believe that even with all the employment going on in the world, we still have time to feed our young shinobi in the village. Look at the big fries. Everyone else is going hungry? No, that's not true.
I think now construction jobs rose 37,000, but manufacturing fell by 29,000. What do you make of it?
Children. Young shinobi children. They go into the war. That's what your children should be doing too. Go out fighting. For fries! Don't need to pay them unemployment fees. No, pay them unemployment fries.
Wow. Now the labor force participation rate was at 63%, the highest point in 2 years. Now with more people working, should the Fed raise interest rates?
I should raise my interest rates in getting some of these fries.
Now the average hourly wage is $25.43, pushing New York and California to pass a $15 minimum wage. Will this lead to job losses in those states?
$15? You know how many chimichangas I can buy with that? That's like a lot.
So in closing, is there any last things that you'd like to say?
Please feed me. I'll do anything.
So in closing, this is Taxis on the Predatory Lending Network saying, I'm taxing you. Now, this is Taxis from the Predatory Lending Network. Out with the news that the unemployment report is out, and unemployment is at 5% and underemployment at 9.8%. What do you think of this?
Well, I say that unemployment is definitely spiking, and it's going to be very, very bad for the economy and whatnot. On the bright side, it'll definitely provide some new targets for my pyromancy.
Now, construction jobs rose 37,000, but manufacturing fell by 29,000. What do you make of that?
Well, I guess in terms of manufacturing, it's due to the amount of outsourcing because it's just a cheaper option, you know. But construction jobs rising is definitely, you know, something healthy, and I think a lot of people should definitely learn about construction because, you know, I mean, I like to get wasted on the weekends, and since I'm a pyromancer, chances are I'm going to blow up a couple of buildings.
Now, the labor force participation rate is at 63%, the highest point in 2 years. Now, with more people working, should the Fed raise interest rates?
Can you fix my golf cart?
You know, I haven't really given this one much thoughts. Labor force participation rate. I'll have to think about this one some other time, maybe.
Now, the average hourly wage is at $25.43, pushing New York and California to pass a $15 minimum wage. Will this lead to job losses in those states?
It'll definitely lead to a lot of job losses within those states. You know, unemployment will definitely increase. More people will be fired, or products will increase in the price. Unemployment will definitely go up, and we'll probably see more homeless on the streets. Good news is, it'll feed this guy.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
Any closing thoughts? Well, definitely stay away from caves surrounded in bones with a rabbit nearby.
Closing, this is Clark Kent. In closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network saying, I'm taxing you. That's the Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network out with the news that the unemployment report is out, and unemployment is at 5% and underemployment is at 9.8%. What do you think of this?
Well, you know what? I don't. My full-time job right now is rapping, so I don't.
Okay. Now, construction jobs rose 37,000, but manufacturing fell by 29,000. What do you make of this?
Well, I don't know. The first order doesn't have to say anything about that. I mean, I heard it costs a lot of money to build Starkiller Base. I mean, I don't know. They're pulling that money from somewhere.
Now, the labor force participation rate was at 63%, the highest point in 2 years. With more people working, should the Fed raise interest rates?
You know what? I think they should. I mean, we got to pull that money from somewhere, and since First Order ain't giving out their sources, then I mean, the money's got to come from somewhere.
I'll just call her.
Now, the average hourly wage is at $25.43, pushing New York and California to pass a $15 minimum wage. Do you think this will lead to job losses throughout the empire?
You know what? I think it's gonna have a lot of people trying to join the First Order. It might put a lot of first. Can we do that again? Sorry.
The average hourly wage is $25.43, pushing New York and California to pass a $15 minimum wage. Will this lead to job losses in those states?
I'm not sure about the states, but I know for sure at Starkiller Base we're going to see an influx of a bunch of people trying to sign up for our Sword Trooper program.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
Just repping for Starkiller Base, that's it.
So in closing, this is Taxes from the Predatory Lending Network saying, I'm taxing you.